So starting at the head of your yoga mat, just to prepare you for some seated postures, you're just going to inhale, circle both hands overhead, and exhale, forward fold all the way down. You can lift up halfway if you want to, come back into that forward fold when you're ready. So just preparing the feet here for Malasana. The feet separate roughly about hip width apart. You want to find your heels underneath your sit bones, and the knees must follow the alignment of the toes. This is very important that it happens via the hips, from where all the magic kind of stems from, especially in this pose. Just pause, lengthen out through the spine. Just taking that left arm out towards the side, guiding that left hip open a bit more. So either staying in that stretch with the right hand lifting up towards the sky, or finding that bind. So I'm interlacing my fingers round the top part of my thigh in this position and rolling my chest and heart open. Change over onto the other side when you're ready. So just guide, again, using your tricep of that right arm to guide that right hip open, and finding that interlation if that's part of your practice here, clasping onto the fingertips or working your way up towards wrists and forearms. I'm kind of snuggling, so I'm kind of doing a little bit more work. Working here with the breath. Draw your navel in and up. Keep lengthening that spine. Release when you're ready. So when you're in Malasana, whatever variation you're taking, just be so careful not to collapse onto the inner arches of the feet. It's very common for the ankles to sink inwards. You really want to root down through the heels, toes, ball of the foot, and keep a healthy inner arch. So when you're ready, just release out of that, move yourself towards your yoga mat there, maybe at the back or the center, and just prepare the legs. So the feet are roughly hip width apart or toes together. On an inhale, raising the arms, exhale, forward fold. Preparing for Paschimottanasana, it's a matter of not creasing there from the waist, it's creasing from the hips. I'd rather you stay in this lifted position rather than forcing yourself down and getting frustrated. You must push the heels away from you as well. So I'm really grounding through the hamstrings and calves in this position here. And again, working here with that breath. So inhale, lengthen, not just through the spine, but through the torso as well. And exhale to come down and forwards. You want to think of moving down and forwards. It's very much just like Uttanasana, forward fold, apart from your seated. So started off in a seated position, coming into Baddha Konasana variation here, forward fold. Press the soles of the feet together, allow the knees to open out wide via the hips, and on exhale, start forward folding over these legs. Try to allow your whole body to sort of fit in between that gap there that you've created, that diamond shape, and really allow the hips to just soften up and open. And just relax the head, try to get the shoulders moving away from the ears. Surrender yourself all the way down and just close the eyes. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And breathing out there through the mouth. So slowly just release when you're ready. Preparing the legs here for Parivrtta, Janu, Sirsasana. This is a really lovely hip and lower back opening pose. So you've got your left leg extended, right hip is open, and the right sole of the foot is just there on the inside of that left thigh. So clasping onto the toes here, left hand onto left toes or the ankle. You can start peeling that right arm overhead. Try to get the shoulders stacking on top of one another here, and almost like you're trying to find an imaginary back wall there behind you. Just make sure the shoulders aren't rounding. Keep lengthening here through the body, grounding evenly through the sit bones, and press the hamstring and calf of that left leg down and into the floor. Draw your navel in and up towards your heart center, and just keep lengthening there through the spine, particularly on that right hand side as you ground through the sit bones. Come to a seated position again. You're just going to square off the hips and the shoulders, coming into a Krounchasana variation. Interlace the fingers around that right foot and slowly guide the leg to lift. Draw in your navel also to lengthen the spine, ground through your sit bones, and work on lifting the leg from the head of the thigh bone, which is within the hip socket. So rather than just focusing on the foot lifting, it's the entire leg. Now work on the femur, really hugging in close towards your body, and the breath is vital. So on every exhale, work on drawing that leg closer there in towards you. Keep drawing in that navel in and up towards your heart and lengthening, lifting up through the crown of the head. And just lower the leg all the way down when you're ready, coming into Ardha Matsyendrasana variation. Position that right foot just over that left thigh. The left arm is crossing over the right thigh now to enter the twist in towards the legs. The left palm is by the base of the spine to encourage you to sit up nice and tall. And then on the exhale is when you want to start twisting towards the back. Get the shoulders away from the ears. You can also counter the twist just by changing the arms and push away from the legs in the other direction, just to move the spine the other way. Again, lifting the rib cage away from the hips is essential on any of these twists. Coming out when you're ready, just sit yourself up and extend your right leg out there in front of you in alignment with the hip, working on Parivrtta, Janu, Sirsasana on the other leg now. So externally rotate your left hip and press the left foot on the inside of that right thigh to start off with. Clasping on with same hand to same foot, so right hand onto right foot when you're ready, and peel that left arm overhead. You should feel a nice stretch here along the left hand side of the body, so stretching out the lats, the rib cage, anything that's feeling a little bit tight or sore along the sides of the waist. Really focus on rooting there through the sit bones, through the hamstrings, calves. Keep pushing that heel away and seeing if on these exhales you can get a little bit deeper into the pose by lengthening the body over the leg and forwards. So release when you're ready, preparing for Krounchasana on this left side this time, guiding the heel upwards. Don't forget it all has to stem here from the hips and pelvis. Really ground here through your sit bones as you start lengthening through the spine and lifting up through the crown of the head. Seeing if on an exhale you can draw that thigh closer in towards you. Keep drawing that navel in and up. And just making sure that the shoulders are away from the ears. Maybe you want to bend the elbows as you draw the leg in closer towards your body. When you're ready, release. Crossing that left foot over that right thigh, coming into Ardha Matsyendrasana variation. Right arm crosses over the thigh for that twist. Keep that knee lifting upwards and facing towards the ceiling. Exhaling as you twist here from the waist, don't forget. Seeing if you want to come over towards the other side, just counter that twist, use the legs and use that back hand by the base of the spine to keep yourself lifted the entire time. So slowly release when you're ready. And just scoot yourself towards the center of your yoga mat or wherever you're working from. Just release there into the legs, give them a little wriggle and slowly roll yourself all the way down onto your back. So just get yourself comfortable, extend the legs first of all and just kind of stretch out before you come into bridge pose. Walking the heels up towards your backside, not too close there. And the feet are hip width apart, same as the knees as well. Inhaling as you begin to lift the hips up. Try to come on tops of the shoulders, so walk the fingertips just a little bit closer towards your heels without changing the feet there. This just helps to motivate the chest to lift and it not just being in the hips. And just ensure that the tailbone really starts lengthening towards the backs of your knees. Keep the inner and outer thighs engaged the entire time. And just work here with the breath, nice and easy. You can control how high you're lifting the hips, just as long as you're really pressing down through the soles of the feet and through the palms here for full support. And to exit, you can just slowly roll down the spine. Release each vertebra as you lower the hips downwards. And now bring that right knee in and up towards your right shoulder. So lacing the hands just under the knees, you can extend that left leg there. And that brings you nicely into half a happy baby. So I've got my left hand on my left hip just to make sure I don't seesaw onto one side. I really want to focus on my tailbone lengthening down into the floor all the way towards the heel that's out there in front of me. Really open up there through both sides of the hips. Breathe. And change over onto the other side when you're ready. Take it step by step. Just lace the fingers around that left knee, draw it in and up towards your left shoulder, and extend that right leg when you're ready. This sets you up nicely for half a happy baby, working on the left hand side now. So clasping on with the left hand onto the outer edge of left foot, or you can grab onto the ankle if the hips are feeling particularly tight. Just ensure that you're really balancing out here through the buttocks, that you're not tilting to one side, and you're still working here with the breath nice and easy. So just release when you're ready and walk the heels in towards the backside, preparing that right ankle on top of the left thigh for a variation of pigeon pose. Ensure that the right hip is nice and open, so the knee is moving away from your shoulder and your body. Now begin to thread and interlace your fingers around that left thigh to draw the left knee in and up towards your left shoulder. Take your pubic bone away from your navel. This will allow your tailbone to lengthen downwards towards the floor, so you really open up through the abdomen as well, so the breath can easily come into the belly whilst you're working on this hip opener. Try to keep moving that knee away from your shoulder. Resist the urge for the hip to just lift up towards your shoulder there. And come onto the other side when you're ready. So you've got left ankle on top of the right thigh. And on that interlation, you're drawing that right knee in and up towards your right shoulder. Again, just ensure that the hips aren't tilting, that they're parallel here with the shoulders. And base of the spine is just drifting nicely downwards towards the floor. This variation of pigeon is really good as a back soother if you've got any sciatica or if you're working with tight glutes or the piriformis. So release when you're ready, and your arms are just going to come out into a T shape out towards the sides, palms of the hands just facing downwards, knees coming in towards the chest first of all. And on your exhale, just slowly drop both knees down towards your right hand side. Allow the inner thighs and the knees to stack on top of one another there as the twist all comes from the waist. Inhale as you come all the way back up towards the center, and exhale, just twist, take those knees down over towards the other side. Really anchor the shoulders, the arms downwards towards the floor for a full spinal rotation. Just relax the face. You can close the eyes. Slowly come back towards the center. And you can prepare the legs coming into Supta Konasana if you wish, by kissing the soles of the feet together. The knees open like the pages of a book, nice and wide so the hips are open, and just make sure that you're lengthening here through the spine. So have awareness of that breath. Is it going into the belly, or is it staying somewhere in the upper body still, or the rib cage? Maybe placing the palms of the hands on the belly can help. Move that breath down to use all of the lungs. At any point in time, you can bring the knees slowly together and extend the legs out there in front of you for full Shavasana. Begin to distance yourself away from everything and everyone else. And just focus on you. This is where you truly get to absorb your practice. And laying in stillness allows you to heal, grow, let go and move on. And just spread the toes and allow the weight of the legs to just drift down deeper into the floor. Allow the muscles and the joints to soften. The buttocks, hips, inner groins, everything you've used in your practice can just soften. Hopefully your breath has slowed down and is finding its way down easily into the belly. Focus on that lower back now. You're just scanning through the body, ensuring that the left, the right, vice versa, feels balanced. So you get to work on anything that your physical practice didn't quite reach. Sometimes the answer isn't always movement. Sometimes we have to slow things down or stop things completely. Give yourself this time. Give yourself permission to just relax. So allow that lower spine to just soften. And move your way up the spine. Just release each vertebra as you move upwards, soothing the back, the muscles, the internal organs, the shoulders, the arms, the hands. Release the neck. Relax your face and your jaw muscles. And slowly bring your awareness now to the very top of the head. So like a trapdoor that opens, anything you see that you don't like, that no longer serves you anymore, you just begin to let that go. And let it leave your body. Let it leave your system. And if you're finding this part of the practice a little bit challenging, or it's a bit of a struggle, bring your awareness back to your breath. That's where it all begins. And don't worry about how big or how small any of the memories, ideas, thoughts that are being let go of or running through your mind at the moment. As easy as they come into your mind, to just float and fade away, just as easy. And I just want you to take a moment to just look at the space you've created for yourself, throwing away things, objects, people, memories, thoughts that you don't need anymore. That space, that energy can be used for something or someone else. Stay with your breath. You're just going to begin to close the top of the head now and seal the door shut. And allow your practice to just wave down the face and into the belly for your safekeeping. So you can either lay here for a little while longer, or whenever you're ready, you can roll over onto one side and sit yourself up and get on with the rest of your day or your night. Namaste, everyone.